So sometimes the leaks and rumors are indeed true, and that's why they are fun to report on, because yeah, we got the confirmation today that tomorrow we will have a Nintendo Direct partner showcase, which that's what I was setting my expectations towards. You can go back in my videos and watch them. I really didn't think Nintendo would have a lot of first party stuff to show us, but nonetheless, we have a partner direct confirmed for tomorrow, comboed in with an indie world, which exactly fits what PH Brazil was claiming, and this person has gone up massively on the reliability scale in my personal opinion, because this was not something that you would predict. Literally every single year without fail, Nintendo holds their fall direct in September. It has happened every single time in the Nintendo Switch's life cycle, and it's typically a mainline presentation. So him saying things like multiple presentations were being moved forward from the end of September time slot to the end of August, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. And you might also remember me saying that if we did indeed see this confirmation like we now have, that would more or less convince me that we are going to hear about Nintendo Switch 2 this year, which I am now entirely convinced of, more or less. Obviously things can change, but Nintendo cleared out the fall completely, probably for that kind of announcement. So we have to first talk about Nintendo's official announcement, what games to expect at tomorrow's presentation and which games not to expect there, and then we need to discuss how this ultimately ties into Nintendo's big timeline for when they will reveal and ultimately release their next gen hardware. So we're going to get on the same page with all of that. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And I want to first kick it off by hopping over to X, where you can see the confirmation from Nintendo themselves around the presentation tomorrow, where it says, join us tomorrow, August 27th at 7 a.m. Pacific time for an Indie World showcase, followed by a Nintendo Direct partner showcase. The live stream featuring both presentations back to back will be roughly 40 minutes in total. And of course, like we've seen with every other presentation since Nintendo has confirmed they will be revealing the successor to the Switch in this fiscal year, we also have, please note, there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during either of these presentations. Okay, so the first thing you have to remember with partner showcase is don't expect Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, any of the first party major IP from Nintendo. However, we did see Nintendo at their February partner showcase actually close the show with one of their own internal IP that they do technically publish, so maybe we get some kind of smaller spin-off Nintendo title there, but don't expect Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess. Don't expect Metroid Prime 2 and 3 Shadow Drop. Like, all of that stuff's off the table. You should definitely lower your expectations. What I do think is a safe bet though, because we've only seen one update for Nintendo Switch Online in the month of August, and historically Nintendo has been doing at least two this year in 2024, one for the base tier and one for the expansion pack. And normally when we see them get into a direct type of thing, they actually drop quite a few games, potentially spanning both tiers of the service. So I think we're going to get some kind of section in this presentation that is a reveal of a handful of new NSO games that will drop exactly that day that the presentation happens, and that is more or less a shoo-in. We also talked about in yesterday's video that there are listings popping up for My Sims from 2007. That's probably going to be revealed at this event. Claims of a Front Mission 3 remake, and then this kind of popped up out of left field, but it looks like there might be a chance that we're going to see Call of Duty in some form or fashion revealed at this showcase, because there is this following tweet from somebody who posted on X, and anyway, we'll read it together so you can see. Look, I don't want to create expectations, but minutes after the Nintendo Direct announcement, the official Call of Duty profile started following me here on Twitter, Call of Duty Brazil. Well, I've been very vocal for years about how much I love Call of Duty, and I've been to game events in Brazil, so it might not mean anything to Nintendo at all, but we like to dream, don't we? Now, I'd like to point out that post has now been deleted, but we did indeed, and you can see a screenshot of the Call of Duty Brazil account retweeting the eyeballs emoji to that. So maybe hinting at some kind of Call of Duty reveal. That definitely wasn't on my direct bingo card, but we do know that that's part of the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger, that Call of Duty games are coming to Nintendo platforms for the next 10 years, and they might have some version of some Call of Duty game actually ready to go, and we might learn about it at this Partners Direct, which is going to be kind of a crazy sight to see. Besides that, could it finally be time for Silksong? I mean, the game has to come out eventually. It skipped every presentation that everybody thought it would eventually show up at, and we saw it get rated by the ESRB earlier this year, which signifies that they're at least close to being done with the game. Doesn't mean it's ready to ship or anything like that, but maybe, just maybe, that could be the show closer for this partner showcase or the Indie World portion, because keep in mind, these are back-to-back presentations. We don't know if it's split half and half or one presentation is longer than the other. I'm hoping for like 15 minutes Indie World, 25 minutes partner direct, but we'll see how the breakdown actually happens. But new game announcements headed our way for tomorrow, which is always exciting. And what is even more exciting than that to me is, along with these claims from PH Brazil that we have discussed at length on this channel, and Nate the Hate doubling down and actually saying that he heard the same thing. That's what prompted the video from yesterday on the channel. But PH Brazil is the one that's been very vocal about Switch 2 and the inner workings about Nintendo being ready to reveal this thing soon. And you have to remember one of the biggest claims that started all of this, that directly tied into essentially a loose timeline of when we're going to see Nintendo really start to talk about their next gen console in a big way. As you can see this post from FamiBoards, which reads, according to our own Brazil, the journalist who broke the news about the 2025 Switch 2 release, Nintendo seems to have brought forward some plans regarding the Switch 2's release schedule. Some presentations, he doesn't specify which ones, that were scheduled for the end of September seem to have been brought forward to the next couple of weeks. This was on August 11th. He also says that the current podcast linked below should be one of the last before news about the Switch 2 really starts to pop up. He also adds, and this seems to be just his personal opinion, that the Switch 2's release schedule will follow more or less the same route as what we saw with the Switch 1. So these claims were being made well before we knew about the Nintendo Museum Direct, and well before we knew about Nintendo not holding a September presentation and rather merging together a Indie World and a Direct Partner showcase towards the end of August. And we now know that that's of course legit confirmed info. So the claim that Nintendo will potentially be bringing forward the Switch 2 into the spotlight soon, and that it will somewhat follow the original Switch's marketing schedule, if you will, tells us two things. One, why did Nintendo just essentially clear out September entirely? Maybe that is the front runner for the month that they actually want to reveal the trailer for their next gen console. If we are to believe it to follow exactly or more or less what the Switch 1 did, then we should expect a trailer, a first look trailer for the next gen console to actually drop in October, then a deep dive presentation, probably some kind of live event held in January with a much deeper explanation of everything of the console, and then we should expect it to launch in March. Now, some sources are saying that developers are being told not to expect it to launch in Q1 of 2025, which would mean it wouldn't launch in March. It means it would launch anywhere from April to June. But similar sources are saying that they are expecting it in the first half of 2025. But if we learn about the console this year at all, I truly believe that we are going to be talking about it earlier into the year of 2025, more likely than not in the month of March or April is kind of what I'm thinking if we do indeed learn about the console this year. Nintendo is very much going off the beaten path with their presentation, so to me this paints a very likely picture that we are right around the corner from learning about details of Nintendo's next gen hardware, and I for one cannot wait for that. But that's where I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video. What do you think about these presentations tomorrow? Are you excited for them? Where are you setting your expectations in terms of new game announcements, and what games are you most hopeful to see there? Stop by and enjoy the live stream with me if you'd like. I will be live streaming this tomorrow morning. And are you like me, and with this news you're more or less in the mindset that Switch 2 will be revealed at some point this year in 2024, or do you think that that's going to be saved into 2025 and Nintendo just moved up their presentations for some other unknown mysterious reason? So make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn your notification bell, and with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.